All right. Good evening, everybody. One second. Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Just a second to let everybody get in, and we'll get started. Good evening, everybody. What's up? What's up? Gonna go ahead and get started with the news here in just a second. What's up, everybody? Just gonna get started here just a second with the news. Who's that? Hold on one second, guys.
Are y'all taking off?
We're gonna get up really early and go to the beach and everything. Yeah, we got plans in the morning.
Hey, yo, James.
Mom, I want to see you.
You can say hi real quick. We got to go to the beach early in the morning tomorrow. We're going to the beach tomorrow at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. The Ao's just laying down to bed.
You wanna get on tomorrow?
My bad, bro. I'm flying over you right now.
Hey. Hey, we got plans in the morning. We gotta get up.
But
No, we're not. No, now this is disrupting my night, and now you're causing me trouble. You're gonna put me down.
I'll see you tomorrow, alright? Okay. Alright, guys, I'll send it to you.
I don't want to say hi to her.
Just.
It's disrupting my night.
Okay. My bad, y'all. All right. My apologies. It's all good. I had a neighbor stop by a little bit late. we're going to the my son is going to a birthday party tomorrow, so he's got to be up early. So, all right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the news here. Your daily rip. All right, so just going over the major ETFs. S&P up 0.13%. NASDAQ down 0.17%. The Russell 2000 up 0.07%, so not much to change there. And the Dow, as we talked about this morning, bounced and hit that 61%, having a relatively green day, so that was nice to see. Did see a little bit of movement to the upside on some of those stocks that have been struggling in the industrial sector, so that was nice to see. So let's real quick go over the chart on each one of those. So I already have the Qs because I was just talking about them in a one-on-one. So the Qs here, look, and we talked about this support that was right underneath the Qs. So going into tomorrow, they actually kind of have the appearance that, and probably past 355, most tech stocks will likely run. And my target, the first target is going to be 355.25. Of course, that's not much of a range, but that is the nearest micro resistance that we have. And then above that, if we can see some volume, I think we could see 356 tomorrow. So that would push stocks like Microsoft, Nvidia, and Roku. Real quick, hold on, I gotta send some money to somebody really quick. Oops. Sorry, guys. All right, there we go. I think we should be connected now. Anyway, so we're in this wedge with my the Qs, so we're gonna have to be careful. We don't have much of a range, but I am expecting a potential bounce tomorrow. There are some long dated puts. If you guys were watching Flow today, we can go over Flow really quickly before we move any further, just because I want to make sure that we're going over each ETF really well. That this is something that when you're sitting down at night that you should be doing, because if any stock that you're looking at correlates with these major ETFs, which it likely does, then you're going to be able to see the bigger picture, whether or not you have room to run or whether or not it's going to be a good entry or not. One thing that you can turn your attention to is how red the equity pool or dark pool prints on SPY were today. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. It does look like we have 407 puts for 820 coming in on SPY. And it may be that they have short expiration calls. And so the same thing with the Qs, you've got some shorter expiration calls, 359, which is a little bit higher than our target, but 359 calls. And then you also have some, I think it was 344 or 345 puts long dated. So EMA show, go to the daily. Yeah, that's I'm streaming on YouTube right now. If you guys want to see my chart, you guys can see what I'm explaining. But anyway, so that's where we'll be watching for the Qs tomorrow. As far as SPY is concerned, SPY, I talked about this in the same one-on-one actually. That this is a mini, and I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of these lines. But this was a previous support line. So coming off of these lows, pulling that up. So check that out, right? So now we've exchanged support for resistance. So we're just edging along that resistance right now. We've got the EMAs right below us, 9-day moving average right below us. We've had some pretty intense volume. So anytime that I'm consolidated underneath a support, I'm always, and especially the way that we've exchanged support with resistance, or exchanged our support for resistance, that's always rather damning. So that would go in line with the amount of red that we saw towards the end of the day as far as option flow and in dark pool prints. So I'll if you guys want to any requests, you guys can check out our YouTube. So that way I can actually show you the chart. So. One second. Where did I put my marker? Oh my God. Yikes. Well, if I was to tell you that AMC is going to 100, I'd be a whole damn lie, man. Okay. So high level, the ETF looks bullish. I was able to get up pre-market today. Good job, Deepin. Of course, that's awesome that you were able to get out pretty open, or pretty break even. So top underrated indicators. That's a good question. I think that one of our guests the other night was talking about the TTM squeeze. That's a really good indicator. Let's see here. It's probably not underrated. That's a good question. I'll have to mull on that one. I got terrible handwriting, dude. Like the worst. Georgie, are you on right now? I can answer that in just a question, Chubb. Anyway, SPY, just keep in mind that if we, on SPY, if we exchange this resistance and hop above that, that's going to be the goal in a bullish situation. We are edging above highs, but we're not out of the woods, because I do kind of see that we're still respecting that support turned resistance. So anyway, let's see here. We got the IWM. IWM has had nothing but put flow. And what we talked about last night on IWM kind of played out. We did in fact bounce and have a green day pushing up against that resistance. And so right now the goal for tomorrow is try and push 230.85 and break into the 231, which is our next resistance, and that would confirm a break and downtrend on the Russell. So my mouth is hella dry. Okay. Looking at the daily though, on the Russell, it still looks like a hot pan of garbage. So we're gonna need to see a significant bounce. Okay, let's see. DW. the Dow. Okay, so same thing with the Russell. The Dow is up against resistance. Let's pull this up right here. 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so above, let's see, 34 or 345.57 or 55, excuse me. The Dow, we need to close above this resistance. We are up against resistance, breaking out of a bull flag. We do have a MACD roll over to the upside, and we also had decent volume on today's bounce. But again, just like the Russell, we are pretty much huddled against that resistance, and we are going to need to see a break in this, I wouldn't even call it a downtrend, but just a break of resistance tomorrow. So we will be watching this one. If we get that break, stocks to watch are CAT, Boeing. Another stock that I need to keep an eye on is Dollar General. Keep your eyes out for Dollar General. This stock is, as far as options concerned, can be really fun stock to play. Today was not that day, but if you look at the hourly, it did set up a pretty nice bull flag. It did reject, but it is still heavily consolidated here. I will take this to the downside, potentially just for that short to 215, where it will likely bounce, but it has been seeing some strong volume or strong uptrend here as of lately. So anyway, as far as the ETFs, that is that. Micron, going over earnings today. Micron reported this evening after closing bell. The chip company beat top analyst ratings. 1 second here. There you go. Yeah, if you want to actually interact. Okay, so stats EPS 188 versus the 172 estimate. The revenue 7.42 billion, up 36% year over year. Let's see here. Micron moving in after hours, not much of a change, basically just sitting at, let's see, the open of June 28th. So not much of a change there. Did pull back on earnings, but Micron Energy, or Technology, Energy, CEO Sanjay Mehrotra said that Micron set multiple market and product revenue records in our third quarter and achieved the largest sequential earnings improvement in our history. Our industrial leading DRAM and 176 layer NAND now represent a meaningful portion of our production, and Micron is the best positioned to capitalize on long-term demand trends across data center, intelligent edge, and user devices. So they are down 2% in after hours. General Mills earnings stock fell and quartered Q4. Let's see here. Let's see, General. I always forget. Giz. Odd. So yeah, they are up. And I'm not sure if anybody here even plays them. But they are, their EPS was up 91 versus the 81 estimate. But their revenue was down 10% at 4.5 billion. Going over Ditto, or Didi, excuse me, that is the Chinese Uber. So this one IPO today, opened up, ripped into the $18 level, where it quickly dumped right back down to $14.74. They went public today. This is the largest Chinese IPO since Alibaba went public in 2014. The company was worth $62 billion in its most recent funding round. The stock opened well above its $13 and $14 range set earlier this week and rallied, of course, to $18 0.01 before pulling back. At the close, rideshare company was just a dime over its IPO price. So that's pretty crazy. All things considered, Didi still managed to finish the day green. The company sold 316 million shares and raised $4.4 billion in its market debut. That is something that you have to think about, that next time you're buying into an IPO, it is probably best to scalp in these situations. 1 second here. It is always probably best to scalp and keep entries and exits quick on IPOs because of that very reason right there. So you don't want to have these companies sell shares right from underneath you. So let's see here. And a lot of shorts attacked, I'm sure, because I'm sure it also spurred people panic selling as well. DD long, I actually think it might not be a terrible idea. I think it's a good idea long, so I might pick up some shares on the bounce here for a potential long. But we'll be watching this one. We've seen Uber and Lyft, and you see what the price of both of those stocks are. So might be a good long. Kind of excited to see when options open up. So I'm probably gonna set some alerts at some random places. $15. All right. All right. Real quick, sorry. Go back and pull up the news. Let's see here really quick. Award-winning filmmakers announce EP status. That's weird. Sorry guys, 1 second. I'm siphoning through what's important and what's not. Wow. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this today. Robinhood paid the FINRA largest penalty ever today at a whopping $70 million. They accused Robinhood of systemic supervisory failures and significant harm to millions of customers. The fine covered restitution for users affected by the outage during the stock market crash in March 2020. Is also a slap on the wrist for approving thousands of users' options trading without, or even though it was not appropriate for the customers to do so. Robinhood supposedly set aside $26.6 million for settlements, but the $70 million fine is over 2.6 times bigger, and that probably was not fun for them at all. The broker's nonetheless marching forward with its future IPO plans. Has a $30 billion valuation as well. All right, let's see here. Damn, Cloudflare. I didn't even see Cloudflare today. Okay, well, that is about it for me as far as news and charts, our ETFs charts. So really quickly, we will go over our swings. Those of you who have any swings or any requests, let me know. And I will go over those here in just a second. Sorry if I seem a little spacey. I'm still not feeling 100% right now. So, all right, let's see something here. TME. Oh my God. Well, it looks like you broke downtrend, but for now you're pretty much just sitting flat on the 15-minute. Looks like you're channel trading. You have a little bit of a correction there, but that's what it seems like. Kind of looks like a cup and handle, to be honest with you. So anywhere above 1565. It's a 5-minute or a 15-minute cup and handle, so it's not anything significant. Market drop by Berkshire selling PLTR 710. PLTR. So I don't really know what their entire flow is, but I do know that she was buying quite a bit of PLTR, especially in this range here. So if you think about it, she is either breaking even or she is there you go, Colton. Sorry, I'm reading top down, but let's see. There we go. So, but yeah, so that's more than likely what she has. She's probably trimming a little bit of exposure. So, I hope so. Yeah. There you go. Sorry, my handwriting. Not any better. Okay, so anyway, PLTR, if you look at the chart too, it looks like it's just switched trends, pulling back here. So, like I said, she may just be trimming some exposure. So, let's see here. Oh, what's up, Joseph? Getting milk, get milk. NVIDIA. Oversold on the daily, but looks like it wants to rip to 815. So check this out. I think that NVIDIA rips, it should rip tomorrow, I think. And that's if my trend lines are correct. So if you look at it, anytime, and I talk about this before, anytime a stock just sits flat, then more than likely buyers are holding it up. And if you take a look at the chart, and you said on the, oh, it's overbought, excuse me. Yeah, so it is a little bit overbought. So I see an ascending triangle. When is the split date as well? Okay, so the split date's right here. That's going to happen July 20th. So we still have, what, basically 20 days until this happens. So if you go look back at things like Tesla, right, when its split occurred, right, look at the run. It ran literally till the day before the split. It ripped, right? So look at the indicator too. If you go back, the indicator was screaming. I mean, it did even here before earnings, but like just couldn't even get any higher. Like it literally was just hitting the top level. So more than likely, NVIDIA will follow that same trend. Yeah, so my guess is tomorrow, if you look at the hourly, and based on this resistance, I would say you rip to, what did you say? Yo, yes, look at that. I have 816. So if you look at the like kind of the angle, maybe depends on obviously the volume. It may not shoot straight up, but maybe somewhere around like 12 o'clock we may see ourselves at 1850. If we see a rejection there, it's then more than likely we may see a reversal. But again, it's a stock split, so. But you can see pretty clean setup here. I'm gonna have set an alert here. $805 or the break of 805 again will be probably confirmation for a good $10 move from there. All right, swinging Uber, thinking of adding Baba. So you're in Uber. I saw a lot of people talking about Uber. Let's see here. So I think I charted this one last night. So based on what I see here, Uber could still trend down a little bit further. As much as I wish it didn't look that way. But if you go look at the chart, and we'll go set some levels really quick. Yeah, so I see Uber probably bouncing 49.38. And then from there you could see a really, really strong pop. You are holding, let's go to the hourly really quick. Start from there. I see what's happening. Never mind. Sorry, I had to correct that. Okay, so you either bounce tomorrow, or if you break this trend line around basically, and if you look, this got stopped out at 50. So break of 50, expect a short back down to 430. That's going to shake people out, right? Because it's a psychological number. And then you may see a strong bounce. Otherwise, if you get above 50 and you hold a hourly candle there, then you may see Uber rebound and try for this resistance one last time. So you have three bounces here, so you're desperately going to need to see a bounce tomorrow. So watch that one, and then a confirmation would be a break of 51, and that would likely let you know that Uber has a decent chance at least shooting and trying for that resistance that was around 5250. So. All right, so let's go. What other tickers have we got? Baba. Throw them in the chat, guys. All right. All right, so that looks like hot dog water. Can't lie. 4 hour doesn't look terrible. Can't tell if that's it right there. Alright, so as terrible as this looks, Baba does kind of look like it's setting up a little bit of a flag. I don't like these candles here. But they do show indecision, and it is cooling off the RSI. 226.75. Yeah, that's accurate. That is the median for today. Oh shit, my phone died. Anyway, so you have the 20-day moving average here moving up to hold up that 225 support, or excuse me, 225 support. It does kind of look like it has a flag if you exclude this candle here, but it does appear that there's quite a bit of shorts at this level. Baba did rip up from those levels and hit that main target of 230. So 230 is going to be a really psychological number. So hopefully this is accumulation, and watch this one to climb above its 9-day moving average. That will likely be a decent indication. Can I chart Apple? Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Apple, on the other hand, Apple looks like it may reverse tomorrow. So if we go to the 4-hour, you can see, as we discussed before, and this was pointed out as well, that Apple is trading really cleanly within this channel. And if you go down to the hourly, right, you'll notice that there is a lot of accumulation up against this resistance, and even some wicks above it, definitely faking out buyers. 137 is a big resistance for Apple. Go down to a lower time frame and you'll see that, if I pull this down, you'll see that Apple is, and even if I was to draw this line out here, Apple is holding what looks to be a potential falling wedge. You can see that it even double topped today, even faking buyers out here, like I said before, so dropping it back down. So and even if you draw, let's see here, 1 second. So this was the main support that I was looking at earlier, and you can see that you have 1, 2, 3 bounces, and then you immediately pop down here towards the end of the day. So I am banking and thinking that Apple may end up trend to the downside tomorrow, and this would coincide with SPY's movement to the downside as well. So does that kind of make sense? Expect a big bounce at 136.50. So and it may even go for another retest, another stab at 137.30. Could even hit 137.50 where that previous wick was. So we'll be watching that one, but it actually didn't even hit 137.50. It hit 137.42. All right. Baba, Apple. Does that kind of make sense? If you guys have any questions on any of this analysis that I do. Also, this does, what I was trying to say, though, this looks like a rising wedge, and that's usually a reversal pattern. So whether or not the support be here where the 50-day moving average is, or if it's this lower time frame support and this is a rising wedge where we will see a reversal. So my money is likely to the downside tomorrow, even if we get another pop. But of course, we'll have to watch it. All right. WEI. Go ahead and send any more requests that you guys have. I don't know what that is, dude, or what caused that. But that looks terrible. This one it needs a bounce desperately. Let's see here. Oof, yeah. I don't know if shorts just got a hold of it, but you have that is a reversal candle there on the daily. The 4-hour, again, you have a pretty strong pullback. So watch this one to bounce maybe around 135. That would be my bet, but what do I do? All right, I'll take a look. Sorry, guys. Okay. honestly, with this one, man, look at just set your level here. Okay. Let's see, that's 150 on the dot. So a break below 150, you have the next bounce level at looks like 138. Second bounce level is going to be 128. So Wish did bounce at my level today, but did not hold it. So I know some of you may have heard me this morning, and it literally bounced on the dot at 1281. Was it really, Tom? We'll take a look at XOM. So basically 1281, and Wish will break this trend line right here and likely go back down to the 200-day moving average. But something that I don't know if you guys know, Goldman Sachs, other companies like that, I think Barclays, all have price target ranges, the highest being 30, the lowest being 19. So this is technically, even if you were to do a DCF on the company, that would, no, I didn't do Snap. It actually is undervalued. So I'm waiting on a bounce. I do hold shares, and I will buy a little bit of the dip because I do expect some strong movement, at some point in time, and I will hedge myself as well. So. We do need to see a bounce tomorrow for sure. Watch 1264 as a bounce level. M and D. Oh yeah, never mind. M and M. Is this the right one now? Yeah, it says subordinate voting shares. It's trading in a little channel here, so keep it simple. Nothing complicated about this one. Just look for a bounce tomorrow. Definitely needs to bounce in this channel. If it doesn't, set your supports. Here's one there. Here's one there. And there's one there. And really, you can kind of disregard. No, there you go. Yeah. So those are the levels I see on MNMD. Stop loss at 330. I mean, I would put a stop. My stop loss would be, if you're looking for short-term profit, maybe. My stop loss would likely be, I don't know, man. $3. That would be me, but you obviously have different risk management, so everybody's a little bit different. All right. Let's see here. Cool. NMND. All right, we'll look at that one in just a second. Snap. Okay, so it looks like I had to go down at the 5. You have a little bit of a pennant. This crazy little pattern here setting up. If you go to the hourly, you can see it's really, really consolidated. And even if you don't have this bottom trend line, you basically are going to need to see a break. And likely the Q's moving up could give it one last push to the upside. I was just about to say that volume is really, really low. And if you can see here, look at the volume on Snap when it has low volume. So volume is just the #1 indicator. And if you don't know, you can literally set alerts on volume. So I think that with volume, the consolidation can be a good thing. Because you could see a pop, and more than likely you would just see 68.50, and then of course you want to hold those wicks at 68.81, and if you get that, then your target would be, I mean, it depends, but we have seen some flow for Snap. But we also know that short term we could see Snap to 70, but long with the Qs potentially pulling back, that could lead to some downside. So long, short. Let's see. Can you look at Snap? Tesla. So it looks like you've got, I kind of want to call it a wedge. It looks a little bit bilateral, but that looks kind of spooky. Let's see here, let's look at the daily. So it looks a bit like a flag. Okay, so on the daily it looks like a flag. It has decent volume, didn't have great volume today, which of course, even to the downside, you want to see volume, and you did not get that today. So, you know, even here you have a nice spike in volume and a nice pullback on Tesla. So a lack of volume to the downside. And so what you would want to see here, now that Tesla looks like it's back at support, is you're going to want to see a gap up tomorrow, for sure. So if you can get a gap up and just go ahead and pause the video, and draw the same resistance line, wait for a hourly candle close, especially above 698. You can of course scalp it to that level, but before you do that, of course you want just before you take any longer positions. But we know, after talking about SPY, that was terrifying. Hold on one second. I have my light on and my window's open. There's bugs hitting it. They're hitting it from the outside. There's like those stupid June bugs hitting my window. It's just tapping on my window to creep me out. So anyway, I'll be honest with you. It kind of looks like Tesla may reverse. Of course, that a confirmation of that reversal will be at 667. But you're definitely in need of a bounce. The only reason why I say that is you have 3 rejections of this resistance here. So, all right. Ouch. Any other tickers? Make sure you guys put those in there. Yes, I will look at Bitcoin. Just one second. Okay. MRINAHTDARBBIG. Of course, not a problem. Hopefully that helps. Okay. So actually, it looks like it made a little bit of a falling wedge here. So watch MRIN above 1116. 1116 with volume, and we know what that looks like on MRIN. That's where we're going to need to see that bounce. Otherwise, below this 200 EMA, which is going to be 986 or 985, that's where you're going to see a reversal to the downside, or a reversal back to the downside anyway. So like a spider bit me or something. All right, AHT. So if anybody heard me on, I called the bounce today on AHT, at least for a break and downtrend. This one had a little bit of a falling wedge as well. Broke out, retest, bounced again. So this one pretty simple. 427.72, excuse me, and you should see a retest of 482. But as we said, the Russell's looking a little bit rough. So definitely need to sustain the bounce, but it looks like shorts are trying to take this one lower. If it does end up moving lower, 1 second. All right, so you're gonna watch it around 445. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but kind of hurts a little bit. All right. Oh, you're down on AHT. Okay. Does AHT have do they have options? So here's what you're gonna do. Obviously, I can't tell you about the fundamentals, but if you plan on holding, got you. So what you can do, and here's the thing, is you could see a pretty wild pullback. I'm not sure. Here, 1 second. Okay, so more than likely, if you break 445, you're going to see the stock back down at $4. So you could use options to go right outside of the money and maybe out a month or two and hedge those shares. And if at some point, in July or whatnot, like obviously you need to, I can't tell you what it's going to do in the future, but if you do your analysis every day, and watch it in pre-market, pay attention to the news, chart it and make sure that it's staying in that downtrend, then you should be good to, obviously 450s or 445, those bounce levels, you can trim some of that put option exposure and put it back into equity for a bounce. So, but that all depends on your conviction and whether or not this was just a scalp or that turned into a long hold. So. Oh, excuse me. I didn't know that you had options. Below 450, yes. If you really 445, 440. It looks like the last bounce was at 440, but 445. I'll just put it at 445. If it breaks 445 hourly candle, then I would likely cut them. But the fact that they're for 716 puts a little bit of pressure on the contracts because they do expire relatively soon. So I would just watch that main level. A bounce, if you break and hold anywhere above $5 or the 200-day EMA, then you should see some solid continuation from there. Okay, all right, let's see. XOM. Oh, DARE. So heavily shorted tickers like this one are kind of hard to chart at this point. Okay, so you got support. So support for this guy is 180. But let's see here. There it is. See those wicks there, wick there. So basically a break to the, and I'm just going to give it to you simply, 190. If you get a break above 190, DARE should move to the upside. A break below the 200-day moving average at 175, and you will see more continuation to the downside. So, and BBIG. Honestly, this looks like a hot can of garbage, man. You're holding this support at 388, 385. The buyers are in the 380 level. But you have a massive gap below you. I can't be sure, but it does look like. Let me see something. So if you can hold and bounce the support, you may see resistance. I'm not even quite sure if that's accurate there, and if maybe it's, if I go to the hourly. There it is. Okay, so yeah, that doesn't look inaccurate. But anyway, so if you get a bounce tomorrow on BBIG above 411, or really the 200-day EMA at 425, then you'll probably take a shot at that resistance where you're going to need to watch and pay attention for a break of resistance there. So that's your downtrend. Sheesh. I'm too tired. I'm exhausted. I've got to go to bed soon. Okay, so XOM. The rejection, right? We talked about the rejection. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Excuse me. Okay. So looks like you have the potential for another leg down tomorrow. Watch this downtrend here. This is going to be where you may see a little bit of consolidation or even a pop up to and around this level of 63.78. If you go there, you're going to need to see a breaking downtrend. Otherwise, you should see a rejection and a pull back down here to 62. Below 62.50 or 52 or 62.60. You should see more continuation at the downside. So you can screenshot that or something. Gotcha. Let me make sure I'm getting everybody else's tickers so they don't have to wait really quick. Anybody else have any tickers before I keep moving? All right. I'm gonna do ALZN. It's got a bear flag. See that pullback bear flag there? So just draw support on that one at the low at $9. It looks like, or excuse me, $8.75. Below $8.75 should see continuation of the downside. Yes, I am watching AMC. Bought a little bit more today, just a few shares, but this one is still cruising in downtrend, extending its wedge, as you can see here. So watching this one tomorrow above 58. All right, so Bidu today, I don't know if you guys remember, I cut Bidu, and it did end up moving to the downside. I was a little bit bummed that I didn't take that to the downside, as far as like a full-size position, because it did have a pretty strong pullback, but it did make what looks to be a head and shoulders. So more than likely this one may be seeing, let's see here. Yeah, I think I saw that. So I think we go back to 200 on Bidu if we do not get a bounce tomorrow. So the only thing that I can think is that we just are extending the wedge, but I don't think we are. We lost all of this day's gains and just completely reversed the day after. So it's gonna need to see a bounce tomorrow, or Baidu's out of the question. All right, I am kind of feeling like a massive duffel bag. Never mind. But I am gonna go lay it down. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes. It's starting to feel my sciences. I will chart Bitcoin though before I go. So if you guys don't remember, we talked about the 200-day EMA being the target. That's exactly where we hit. We actually hit 36,800 rather than 37K mark that I thought we might hit. So right now, just continued consolidation. Thanks. I appreciate you too. But more than likely, you're going to see continued consolidation, but this is what I see. I see a pop back up to that previous level, maybe even a little bit higher, so 37.50, and then you may see a rejection there. So all right guys, sorry if I just sound like I'm rambling right now, but yeah, my head is a little heavy. So all right guys, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I should be up in about, actually I should have posted this. I will be up for pre-market, but I will not be here for the morning bell. So I will try to signal what I see, but for the most part, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to make it for the bell. So I should be on towards the end of the day, more than likely for the entirety of the end of the day. So I will let you guys know when I do, or am I am planning on hopping on. But all right, guys, you guys have a good night. My brain's fried. Thank you, everybody. Peace.